mind. Why billionaires buy what they don't need. A Ferrari sits in a climate-controlled garage, driven 200 miles in 3 years. A $40 million Patek Philippe watch tells the same time as a $20 Casio. A superyacht costs $500,000 per week just to maintain, even when it's not being used. So why do the ultra-wealthy spend fortunes on things they barely use? Today, we're diving into the hidden psychology behind extreme luxury spending. And what you'll discover might completely change how you think about wealth, status, and what money actually buys. Let's start with a question that sounds simple but isn't. What are billionaires actually buying? Because here's the thing. At a certain level of wealth, luxury purchases make zero practical sense. A $500,000 Rolls-Royce doesn't get you to dinner faster than a $50,000 Mercedes. A $10,000 bottle of wine doesn't hydrate you better than a $10 bottle. Economists call this the law of diminishing marginal utility. After a certain point, more money spent doesn't equal more function. So what's really happening? The answer lies in 3 psychological principles that most people never consider. Principle 1. Veblen Goods. In 1899, economist Thorsten Veblen observed something fascinating. Some products become more desirable as they get more expensive. He called this conspicuous consumption. A Hermes Birkin bag starts around $10,000 but can cost over $500,000. And the waiting list? Sometimes years long. The price isn't a barrier, it's the entire point. It's a visible, undeniable signal of wealth and access. Principle 2. Scarcity and exclusivity. But here's where it gets interesting. True luxury isn't just expensive, it's rare. Patek Philippe produces only about 60,000 watches per year. Ferrari deliberately manufactures fewer cars than demand requires. The most expensive wines come from vineyards that produce tiny quantities. Why? Because the ultra-wealthy aren't buying objects, they're buying membership to exclusive clubs. They're purchasing social capital. Think about it. Anyone with money can buy expensive things. But can you get a table at that Michelin 3-star restaurant with a 6-month wait list? Can you access that private art collection? Can you join that country club that hasn't accepted new members in a decade? Extreme luxury is a filtering mechanism. It separates the rich from the ultra-rich. But there's a deeper layer to this that most people miss. Principle 3. Identity and self-concept. Neuroscience research shows that luxury purchases activate the same brain regions associated with self-identity. When ultra-wealthy individuals buy extreme luxury items, they're not just signaling to others, they're reinforcing their own self-concept. Let me give you an example. A tech billionaire buys a $150 million painting. Does he need it? Obviously not. But owning that painting, something created by a master, something historically significant, something only a handful of people in the world could acquire, that becomes part of his identity story. He's not a guy who made money in software. He's a patron of the arts, a custodian of cultural heritage, a person of refined taste and historical importance. The purchase changes the narrative of who he is. The time-money equation. Here's something even more fascinating. For billionaires, time becomes more valuable than money. A private jet costs anywhere from $3 million to $90 million to buy, plus millions annually to operate. Financially wasteful? Maybe, but it buys something irreplaceable: time. No security lines, no layovers, no waiting. For someone whose time is worth $10,000 an hour or more, the private jet isn't a luxury, it's a tool that literally buys back hours of their life.
The same logic applies to staff, services, and systems. When you're ultra-wealthy, every convenience that saves time is actually generating value. The experience economy. But perhaps the most interesting shift in luxury psychology is this. The ultra-wealthy are moving away from objects and towards experiences. Space tourism with Blue Origin or Virgin Galactic, a private concert by a legendary musician, renting an entire Maldives resort for a week. These experiences can cost millions and they can't be replicated. Why? Because memories and stories are the ultimate status symbol. Anyone can eventually buy a similar watch or car, but nobody else can claim they were among the first civilians in space, or that they had dinner cooked by 3 Michelin-starred chefs on a glacier in Antarctica. Unique experiences become part of personal legacy. So what does all this tell us about wealth, luxury, and human psychology? First, extreme luxury is never really about the object itself. It's about identity, belonging, status, time, and legacy. Second, the psychology of luxury reveals something fundamental about human nature. We're social creatures. We care about how we're perceived. We want to belong to tribes. And we want our lives to mean something. The ultra-wealthy just express these universal human desires with a much bigger budget. But here's the paradox that researchers consistently find. After basic needs are met, additional luxury doesn't correlate to additional happiness. Study after study shows that experiences, relationships, and purpose matter far more than possessions. The billionaire with the superyacht isn't necessarily happier than the person with a modest sailboat and close friends to share it with. The takeaway. So what can we learn from this? Understanding luxury psychology isn't about judging how others spend money. It's about understanding what we're really seeking when we want more. Are you chasing the object or what you think it represents? Are you seeking status or genuine fulfillment? Are you building an identity based on what you own or who you are? Because here's the truth. You don't need $1 billion to cultivate taste, to have meaningful experiences, or to build a life that feels rich in the ways that actually matter. If this video changed how you think about wealth and luxury, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of success, money, and the good life. And let me know in the comments, what's one luxury experience you'd choose over any material possession? Until next time, keep cultivating that luxury mindset.